Where are you? Let's expand this discussion with Alabama Senator Katie Britt. Senator, it's always fantastic to see you. Seems to me that the reason that left-wing rhetoric, anti-Americanism, and hatred for this country and our people has been allowed to grow and fester in the Democrat Party is the refusal of Republicans to not only unify in universal condemnation of that, but to do anything that punishes these Democrats for promoting or implementing that violence. Is it fair for a conservative like me to expect the GOP, an alleged opposition party, to, get around to opposing and stopping Democrat extremism?
Look, that's absolutely what we have to do. We have to unite. The rhetoric that we are hearing, the behavior from the left, it is despicable and it is disgusting. We need to be crystal clear. There are no gray areas in this. Think about what you just said. You said they were calling for blood in order to have action. We've heard them say, as you mentioned, that these flood victims deserved it because they were MAGA voters. I mean, this is absolutely gross. And it shouldn't be tolerated. And you think about this, the left and what they continue to egg on. This should be something that we should universally be able to stand shoulder to shoulder, both Democrat and Republican, and say this is fundamentally un-American. You think about the tragedy that occurred in Texas. You just told the story of those two siblings being found with locked hands. Look, as a mom, all I can think about and all I have thought about over the weekend is my own two children, 15 and 16, and their time at camp when they were younger and even now. And I am no different than every parent across America. Every parent, every grandparent, every aunt, every uncle is thinking about the heartbreak. They are lifting these families up in prayer, and they know that now is the time to unify. This is not normal behavior for people to be celebrating while families are grieving, while innocent angels are no longer with us. And it's got to stop. And I want to hear that not only from Republicans, but I want to hear it from Democrats too. They should be loud and they should be crystal clear that that type of rhetoric, that type of behavior has to end today.
Well, I don't think you'll hear from Democrats. You have to have a soul to have that kind of compassion, Senator, and I just don't see that from the other side. They've lost it. And a lot of Republicans will point to the reconciliation bill and how it is going to stop all the illegal immigration. That's a good thing. The GOP, though, to get that good stuff in this bill, they're going to be overspending more in the next fiscal year than Democrats did. That's just a fact. Courtesy of both parties, taxpayers are being forced to pay over $1 trillion every year just to pay the interest on that national debt. That does nobody any good. All of this is leading Elon Musk to call for a second political party to combat the uniparty overspenders. If the GOP was actually committed to protecting their voters from Democrats and their lawlessness and overspending, Elon Musk's party wouldn't be getting any traction, would it? Isn't it the meekness of the Republican Party? Isn't that responsible, in part anyway, for Musk forming another party?
Chris, I think what we did last week is transformative for the American people. You think about the things that we saw, the lawlessness under Joe Biden. You think about the rise of the left and what they did to so many of the fundamental pillars of our country. It is going to take time to be able to rebuild this country back. We campaigned. President Trump said, I'm going to secure our border. He was able to do that. We saw we didn't need any new law. We needed a new president. But what we have to do right now for the people who are listening to this is put in place pillars that when we do at some point have a president of another party who believes in open borders once again, that we have put mechanisms in place to keep those borders secure and to keep the American people safe. Also, you look at the lawlessness on the interior. I mean, how many young women, how many children, how many people have to be victims of those people that are here illegally before we say enough is enough? And you know what Donald Trump said? Now is the time. And so the money that was in there to support our ICE officers and their mission that had been absolutely taken a back seat during the Joe Biden administration is now front and center. And this is for safety and security of American citizens. We look at energy. Look at what Joe Biden did, from canceling pipelines to making sure that he deterred any type of energy independence, much less energy dominance. We know what the American people need. We know that's going to drive down prices. We know it's going to create opportunity for us when it comes to national security. I mean, we could go on and on and on again, especially strong defense. And what are we we facing in 21st century? This is about the people watching this at home, making sure that we are safe and secure, making sure that we are creating strength so that your child, my child, doesn't have to put boots on the ground somewhere. That would never be what we want. And if you look at what we did for hardworking Americans, we made sure that America did not have the largest tax increase in history, and in fact, the largest tax cut. And so are you asking me, does it take time to get these things back in order? Absolutely it does. But we are putting hardworking Americans first. No tax on things people talked about for years, Chris, we are actually doing. No tax on tips. We're doing no tax on overtime. We're making sure seniors have a deduction. We actually tackled childcare. We've heard both parties talk about that. We tackled that and made sure that we were doing transformational things for hardworking Americans. We're going to get this country back on track with Donald Trump at the helm. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And it takes time, but we're committed to doing it. We're doing the hard work, and we're also working to get fiscally responsible. You also mentioned, the amount of interest on our debt. You're exactly right. And you look at the mandatory spending that we have. If you go back to the 1960s, Chris, that was about a third of what we spent with mandatory spending. Now, if you add all of that, it's about 73% of what we spent. That is not sustainable. The programs that we have for the people who need them need to be around to help those people. Use them as a safety net, not a hammock. The success of these types of mandatory programming that are there for people who need it, the success should be how many people can we get off of those back into society where they are having the opportunity to live the American dream. And we created strength within those programs, resiliency in those programs so that they will last longer for the very people that they were intended for. So this is big and bold and transformative. The American people are going to see that not only with being able to take home more dollars, but in the safety and security of their children when they tuck them in at night.
Yeah, Senator, look, I know there's a lot of good things in that reconciliation bill. I just wish I didn't have to pay, and the taxpayers had to pay for all the garbage to get those good things as well. Look, I want you to tell me about the Lulu law that you passed, and I wasn't really aware that this was that there was a gap here. This Lulu's law, it's a bipartisan bill from what I understand, and it's resulting from shark attacks on people out there. I wasn't aware of the gap. So tell us what the legislation does to address this.
This is a simple fix that will make a big difference. So this is in honor of Lulu Gribben, who is an Alabama teenager who just over a year and a month ago, her life changed unimaginably. She was attacked by a shark and lost her left arm and her right leg, but by the grace of God is with us today. And when she opened her eyes after those surgeries, she said, "I made it." It is Lulu's mission, and I want you to look her up, luluG.strong on Instagram. You can watch this child do unbelievable things. Her grit and determination is an inspiration for everyone who comes in contact with her. But what this law does is it specifically puts shark attacks in the wireless emergency alert system. So I think the easiest way to understand that is an Amber Alert that you would get. This specifically says it can be used for shark attacks because the sad reality of this is there was a shark attack just 90 minutes earlier, less than 4 miles down the beach, where a woman from Virginia was attacked and lost her hand. Had this been used, then she would not have been in the water and would not be going through what she is today. So it is Lulu's mission that other people, that we save lives and we learn from what happened before. And I am so proud to carry this in her honor and proud that it's bipartisan. It is something we've been able to come together on, pass through the Senate. I look forward to working with Congressman Gary Palmer to get it through the House and then get it to President Trump's desk, because I want the world to see Lulu, because there is no one who comes in contact with her, hears her story, or looks at that won't be inspired.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.